Hello fellow RVers, we're in the shop today, a dreary cold day in winter, and having just finished the great mystery of our hot and cold shower. It's a 10-gallon tank that's tweaked to 16 gallons of output, but we get in the shower and we get this weird hot and cold thing. We chased that through upgrading the water heater and still had a problem, and so this video you have to watch is an absolute fix for when you find out that you have a temperature mixing valve on your hot water tank. It's hidden down on the hot water tank, not up on your shower mixer. There is a completely second system down on the hot water heater, especially on the Atwood GR16-EXT. This is a 10-gallon tank that can be heated up to a higher temperature than normal, 155 degrees, and then it's mixed down with a mixing valve on the tank. So watch this video. If you have this problem, those mixing valves get clogged, we tracked it down, and this video will solve your problem. So watch now, and you will be able to be the hero like I was when I solved this weirdo hot water mix issue. Hello shop fans. Here we are in the closet of the American Coach 2007. And down there you can see, way down there, the door into the water heater. And that's also, there's an accessibility door down here. Hard to see, but you can't see anything there anyway. And so this is how you access maintenance on the water heater. And there you can see the mixing valve, and apparently that is our likely culprit for hot and cold water. And if you take a good look in this video, you can see the water line coming out of it that's disconnected on the right side, kind of at 6 o'clock. And look inside of it. It's completely clogged up with all kinds of debris. Let's get to it. I'm going to try to give you a better look in there. And here you should be able to see that clogged line right there in the middle. Not pretty. And there you see the disconnected lines on the left. And that's the mixer right there in the middle. And when people tell us that is the likely culprit for your problem with the hot and cold water flashing. So let's go ahead and disassemble it. I've got to get that mixer off. My assumption is that it threads out of the side of the block of the tank, and so I'm going to get to work on trying to unthread. And so I'm trying to get an angle on it, but it looks to me like it's threaded into the side of the tank. So I'm going to make as best an effort as I can to grab the whole body and unthread it from the side of the tank. Alright, I want you to see my contraption here. I have a large breaker bar and a socket on top of my pop-off valve remover, and I put the pop-off valve remover on the mixer valve, and then I put some torque on that. And here's the tool you need to remove your automatic temperature valve and your pop-off valve. And I was able to rotate the pop-off valve. And so it looks to me like I kind of got the right idea. I just slipped it in there. And then kind of got it centered up. begin to get some rotation on it. All right, so hopefully you've been able to see that get moving. There it is. Let's hope that's not cross-threaded or damaged. And now we've got to look at him. Let's see what we've got. I see some thread tape on him. And we'll try to get the camera on there. There's the inlet. And that is the whole mixer valve. And so our goal is to understand how to disassemble the mixer valve and see if we can look. Now, inside that pipe, you can see how much blockage there is. All right, folks, what do you see here? You see our hot water tank mixer valve. This is a WATTS LFMMVM1-UT-71. They're hard to find. In fact, I haven't found it. It has 1/2-inch NPT threads on it, and I've disassembled the body and dumped it in a tank of cleaning vinegar. And here you have the exploded diagram after we've torn the valve down, took it apart, and cleaned it up. And for a couple of reasons, we abandoned the old valve and found a new Watts replacement. See the part number in this chart. Here I want you to see the replacement valve that I'm using. It's a little different. Notice it's a T, kind of a T design. This is a Watts thermostatic temperature valve. Its purpose is to set the mix of water between a cold input and a hot input. And remember that we're working on the GR16-EXT Atwood 10-gallon/16-gallon water heater. And so this is the replacement here for the original Watts, and I say original, there's the WATTS 1170. You'll see it's kind of set the water inputs. Hot water and cold water are at 90-degree angles, so it's a little different. This it fits better in the space. This valve is bigger, and the body was 3/4 inch with a neck down to 1/2 inch. So you'll look at the hardware here in the picture, and those outputs I think are 3/4, and then they have a neck down that you can put a nipple in and adapt it to 1/2 inch. Here's the old valve. That's a WATTS 1170M2, and it is missing, if you look in the end of it right there, it's missing its one-way valve. Now this one has one, right? This is your backflow preventer right here in the mouth. And on your mixed output, you don't have to worry about that. It's all going out that way. But for your cold and hot crossover, I'm missing my one-way backflow valve. That makes me suspicious. There you go. Now you can see the C right here. There's your M there. So this is the cold water in. All right, and here you have the washer that's going to go in. You can see that's the fitting that goes on the end. There is that little washer that comes with the valve. There's one of those on each of the inlet sides for the hot water tank and for the cold water mix line, but those two have screens in them, and so we have the clear open one with no screen in it here that we're going to put on the mixed output, and that'll just thread up here, and that gets us down to the 1/2 inch size that we need. This valve body came, I'm not sure what size that is, it looks like it's a 3/4. But the valve body comes like that, and then with the adapters, and then I bought the nipples separately. These are 1/2 inch NPT nipples, and once I did that, that's the only thing. All right, now you can see I've got my wrap on here. I've got about 3 wraps there. Hopefully that'll be enough to seal it up. And remember to tape both ends of the nipples. That one's threaded into the body, and this one is obviously threaded into the line. All right, I believe we've got her all taped up. We are taped going into the body on the bottom here for the nipple, also where the main fitting is, here, here, and here, and then for the nipples, here, here, and here, and then the outside of the nipples here, here, and here. Now look at the side of the tank, and you can see we probably will have enough clearance to get to twist in the valve, right, that goes into the side of the tank. We'll need to wrap that in white Teflon tape and get it ready. Wrap it in the direction of the turn. And then, so now sticking straight out is going to be the cold water. And then the mixed output is going out through the right-hand side. Right there's the hot water valve. And that's its outline. The mixer is going to the mixed out hot. And then that's the cold in, which comes from down below here. So have a line feeding in from down here. And we've threaded that into the side of the tank. And then we've threaded on the outbound mix line here. And so really the only thing that's left is to replace that one line that's down. Get a good look in there, you're going to find buildup in those lines. And others suggested that those rubber seals might not seal when you reassemble it. So we're going to the stainless steel line next. I needed more than 12 inches. The old line you can see was 12 inches there. That line's not available in that plastic, kind of webbed plastic. And so here I am, I've used a stainless steel braided line. And then I've joined each of those 12-inch lines. Had this smaller 3/8 fitting, and then I found a union that I could use between the two 3/8 fittings, and I taped and joined those two 3/8 fittings with that union, which now on this line gives me a 1/2 inch on each end, and that will fit threaded onto the new valve. So we now have a solution. I'll give you the part number there, just let you see it. Brass craft connection faucet. This is a BI B1-12AF. So that will replace this old plastic line. This valve will replace the old WATTS 1170. These are all better than the Atwood valve. And so the WATTS valves are bigger, they're more robust. And so if you're going to pay $130 for a valve, temperature mixing valve, I think that the WATTS is a better choice than the Atwood equivalent. And I can give you the Atwood part as well. So, remember that we're going to take this screw out of the end here. That's going to allow this handle to lift up. When you lift it up, one set of cogs, there's a second set to adjust the hot water mix. And basically there's a little thing in there they call a wax motor. And essentially what it does is it's wax inside a temperature sensing system. And as the temperature heats up, the wax expands and it adjusts the amount of hot water going through to make sure that it always maintains the right balance. Alright, here you're looking at the new WATTS valve. You can see he's bigger, and you can see where the body has been necked down from that big 3/4 inch outlet to the 1/2 inch line. And so that was what we had to do to make it fit. So in each of the orifices we have a 1/2 inch nipple with a neck down on it, and we have the Teflon tape taping that joint up. So going into the hot water heater, there's your hot line coming out of the hot water heater. There's your hot line. Coming out of the mix side over here, that is your mix out. And then over here, and there's inside each of these inlets from cold and hot, there's a screen that will probably clog up with calcium. So we're going to have this where we can get at it. But anyway, and then you have a backflow preventer valve in each of those as well. But yep, that's where our new line comes in. And so we're going to put the stainless steel line on the cold in, and it joins up down here. And down below you should be able to see where the cold line will tie in, and that's the cold source from the cold water tank up here to the inlet that we have taped and ready on the side of the new mixing valve. we're going to have to set that handle to where we can get the right amount of mixing, so I'm going to remove the screw in the end of the handle and then install the line. All right, let's get to it. Here you see the screw and the Allen wrench that remove the handle. On the inside of the handle there's a set of gears, like teeth, and then a layer down there's another set. And so you can set this knob on to the first level and then it will adjust your mix. If you push it all the way on and then run the screw down through it, then it locks it down at that point. And so it's a variable temperature mixing valve. And I didn't notice on the Atwood how that was all done, and so I like this one because it's a real clear process for setting the mix. And then I may leave that screw backed out so that I can reach down here and adjust the hot and cold. All right, in theory, the new Watts valve for temperature mixing is installed. I've left the screw out of the handle. There he is. That is a very small Allen head screw. That is the Allen wrench down there that fits him. And you'll notice, take a look at this knob right here. So its threaded shaft fits right on the top of that, and now it's adjustable left right. Okay, we understand that. But if you push it on further, now the knob is fixed. The gear teeth on the second ring are captured. It. You put your screw through and it won't come out. Otherwise, you back it off, you keep it off that list of that set of teeth, and the knob is fully adjustable. So that's the idea right here. Once it sits down on here, it's fixed. And so I'm going to leave it loose out here so I can adjust it. And I think we have a tag that has fallen down in here. And so this tag hangs on the front of the valve, and it shows that it gets cooler as you go to the clockwise direction and warmer as you rotate counterclockwise. So there's the instructions. We'll hang that on the valve back where it was under the knob. It gives you the Watts part number, and we'll just keep that on top of the handle here so that we all know what the adjustments are supposed to mean. Alright, so that's it. The outline, this is your mixed hot outline. So here's your cold in, which we have replaced now. The old line was clogged and scummy, and it was too short. So now we have a new line. It's a little long. In it comes here, this is your cold in. Over here, this into your mix valve, this is your hot coming out of the hot tank. It is 155 degrees coming out of the tank because of the 155 degree thermostat that goes in the G16-EXT Atwood. That's a 16-gallon equivalent water heater. It's 10 gallons with a mixer on the outside of it that will allow you to run the thermostat higher and then mix that water down to an appropriate temperature. So we're all in. I think everything is where it should be. The question will be now, what leaks? Now if you look down here at the connection on the bottom, that was the hardest, and it was double blind. No way to get to it. And so we've done our best to thread it up and then to try to put a wrench on it. That wrench was extremely difficult to do. And so we'll see if we've got it tight enough or not. But that's it. It's all in. So let's take a look at what we've done to replace the 1170 Watts valve. And it was clogged and polluted with a whole bunch of calcium and corrosion. This one's brand new, clean. It does have a backflow preventer on both sides. So I think that might be the miss on the old one. And we should have a complete through, the body's a little bigger, and so I think the throughput will be better. So I'm actually pretty psyched about it.